Hello everyone, Helpful Idiot here today with the game Neverwinter. Today we are going to be I'm going to be teaching how to make a new character. We start off here on the character selection screen. As you can see, I don't have any characters yet. So we're going to go down here and we're going to click the new character button. It's going to bring you to this cutscene. It's a pretty long one, so I'm just going to skip it. You do that by hitting escape. And then you come here. This is your class selection screen. Now, I don't like the way they have this organized because each different race gives you a different bonus to your ability scores, which it shows you over here. here. But when you don't know your class when you choose your race. So first I switch over to this screen. This is your class selection screen. Now today I'm going to be making a great weapon fighter. So now I'm going to go to the next screen and see that I need strength, dexterity, and constitution. Strength is the main primary ability. This is what constitutes your damage in this class. And then constitution is your health and stamina, and dex is speed and a few other things. So now that I know what class I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and scroll through and see like the half-orc gives you dex and strength, or a human gives +2 to any score. Those are generally the two races for a great weapon fighter, unless you go as a dragonborn, but that you have to purchase the class for, or the race. So today I'm going to choose a half-orc, and then great weapon fighter. So for your stats, you want you go here and you want your primary stat, the purple one, to be a 20, and then these two will be 13-13, but because I have the +2 on the dex, it will be 15-13. So I'm going to go down here and hit reroll score, and just keep doing that until I get the 20, 15, 13, and I got that right there. So now continue. This is your character customization. You can go with just one of these simple pre-made looks, or you can go in here and hit customize, which I'm going to do. Just do that quickly. And they have bunches of different options for every little thing. And different colors and pretty much everything you can think of. And then they do tattoos, which I'm not going to do any. And they also have scars, and then you can change the whole body shape and everything, but that takes too long for right now, so I'm just gonna hit continue. Now here, all of this has no effect on gameplay. So I'm just gonna skip right through this to the character name. And so I'm just gonna go with Helpful Idiot. Next. And we go to the loading screen. You're going to be very familiar with this screen. And now another short cutscene. I'm going to skip through that one and just go right here. And so you hit Alt and you can now use your mouse. So what I do is make the chat bar a little bigger and change the settings. Turn off event and contest. Friend. I'll leave guild and guild officer up. Close looking for group. Loot rolls. Open party, reward notify, system notify, trade, and zone. Now that's just to keep your chat bar less cluttered. All the ones that I left up are all important ones. Well, right now I'm not in a guild or in an alliance, so I won't need any of those. I don't really do PvP, so I won't need match. And then whenever you get in a party or queue group, you're going to need these ones. And then say is your private messaging to and from someone. No, sorry, say is an open world chat. Tell is private message to and from someone. So now we're going to go forward, we're going to talk to Private Wilfred. And you get these 4 options. Again, these don't really mean much of anything, so I'm just going to go with number 1, the first one. And then again. So now, this is the glowy yellow thing on the ground. That's called the quest tracker. And it leads you to all your different quest objectives. Now, sometimes it doesn't quite lead you in the right direction, so you might need to toggle it on and off. So now, inventory, equip these items. Oh, by the way, you do that by hitting I, like the HUD is telling me. But to show hide the quest path, it doesn't have a keybind to start off with. So you hit escape, options, keybinds, and you scroll down. It's under miscellaneous, down here at the bottom, show hide quest path. Now that you can set to Z, because that's an open, hope I missed it, Z, because that's an open key. And also, I like to change the mount and the invocation, which you won't need those till later, but just right now while I'm in here. So I always change the mount to V, because it's right near where my hand's going to be anyway. And then I change invocation to the minus symbol, because it's right on the side of the keyboard, it's easy to reach. Now apply, okay. Now, as a great weapon fighter, your shift ability is a sprint, so you hold down shift and you run faster. And you can only run for a certain amount of time, because this right here is your stamina bar. This keeps going up and down, and right now it's about halfway full, because I need to restore it. But campfires heal you. Campfires will be your friend. Okay, link letter. Complete this quest. Accept the new one. Now for this quest, there's multiple different ways you can go across this field. You can go, there's a little spike right here that you can't go across, so you can either go up and around or down and around. I prefer to go this way because it's faster, so that's down this way. And for this, you walk right up to these soldiers that are on the ground, the wounded soldiers, and you press F, you give them first aid. In this area you don't need to fight anything, but I will, just to kind of show you how. That's the it's called Sure Strike. That will be a power you will have all the way up until your max level, and you will use it a lot. It's the best single target at will. Jump here. Now a lot of this tutorial is explained by the tooltips that keep popping up, like this. And almost everything will be keybinded to something. See, like I was showing you, Sure Strike. Reaping Strike isn't really used all that much, because you have to charge it up, and it takes a long time. So I won't really be using that one much. So this one we just have to collect arrows. You get them 3 at a time. And if you just run straight, you'll pretty much get all 3. Unless there are other people going through and grabbing arrows. And a lot of people get confused on this quest because people forget that they need to put arrows in these barrels. You can either put it in this one, which is the fastest. You can go to this one, or just up here to this one if you want to be the strange person. You put it in, and now they have arrows. And talk to Private Hothadon. Accept a quest. Now, once you get to level 3, you get your first encounter power, which is Q. Your 3 encounters will be Q, E, and R. And as a great weapon fighter, you won't use them a lot, but you will use them some because that's or it's generally buffs that you'll be using. But at this level, it's just more damage to get things done faster, so I'm gonna use that. And you only need to kill 6, but I generally tend to kill more because they just aggro to you. And up here to Private Wilford. Now I'm skipping through all these. They're all the text from these NPCs. I've read it all before. I've made dozens of characters and I'm very familiar with what they say. So I'm just going to be skipping through it. You guys can read through it if you want. Same things with cutscenes. There will be a few that I can't skip. So you'll just have to bear with me through those. But we should be fine. Now through here it's just a lot of stabbing. This is where I will use that at will because it takes care of multiple enemies at once. Because Sure Strike is a single target power, and what was it called? Reaping Strike is an AoE, so just gonna use that again. Sometimes these enemies aggro to Private Wilford because he does fight with you, but in general, they're gonna be looking at you, or dead. Some other classes, for their shift power, they have things like hold up a shield, or it's a dash or a roll. But great weapon fighters have this sprint, and so they're generally the easier ones to level. And it's a good class to start off with because throughout leveling they will always have the highest damage and the best survivability. Now, I've hit level 4, so this thing starts glowing, and that's a mail from Cryptic Studios. And you guys can read through that. And down here, this is all grayed out. It says take items. That's because I'm not at a mailbox. You won't be able to accept it till later, but just by going in and clicking on it, that symbol up there will stop glowing, if that distracts you. So just kill off these last 3 enemies. And you have this cutscene. You can't really skip it. Private Wilford tends to lag out like that. Looks a lot like Slenderman, I've been told. Never really played that game, so let me know if you guys agree with that. Harbinger just lagged out like that as well. You'll find out Cryptic does lag a lot, but we still love the game anyway. So now, always avoid the red zones. The red zones deal more damage to you, and they generally add a status effect like stunned or knocked back. So hit 1, Spinning Strike. Spinning Strike makes you immune to status effects, so you're just gonna sit there and take the red zone while doing that, and just keep using your powers, try to stay out of the red, and you should be good. The Harbinger can't really kill you. It's just a tutorial monster. Move out of the way. Now you get these items together. You always do, each class will. So you just double click this scroll. You get this little scroll icon behind your cursor. Click on the item, and now you have boots. So equip those. Walk over to Private Wilford. Talk to him. You'll get the whole thing on Wilfred dying. And just skip that cutscene, and Neverwinter. Another cutscene you can skip. Skip. Close that. So now you follow behind Sergeant Knox. Your movement speed is going to be a lot faster than his, so if you keep moving like this, you're going to get too far ahead. and you're just gonna have to sit there and wait for him. It takes a while. Sergeant Knox walks slowly. And you stand here, you have to wait for Sergeant Knox to talk to you and Sergeant Quinn. Then you get the quest, you talk to Sergeant Quinn. And then you open this chest. You get your basic leather tunic and pants. Now these are just fashion items. You don't really need these, they don't really add anything, so I'm just going to equip them to get them out of my inventory. You can't sell them, they're not really worth anything. And so for there, he waits for you. So you have to kind of stay with him to this point. Because at certain times he might just stop and wait for you to come back to him. So up here you open the treasure chest, get the clan greatsword, stand here, you wait for him to talk. Once he comes up on here, you can talk to him and get a quest. This is technically the last quest in the tutorial, because that's when you'll be able to interact with other players. Up to this point you won't be able to party or really talk to anyone because you're still in your own private instance. So up here, go to the Hall of Justice vaults, talk to the gate guard. Now this quest, it isn't very hard, but for some of the slower characters it might take a few minutes. I mean, it takes a few minutes anyway, but in other range classes from about here you can still hit those Nashers, so you can probably kill them before you take much damage. But as a melee class, you Gwyffs kind of have to run up there and hit everything, so you'll take more damage, but you tend to have a higher defense than other classes, so you can take more hits. Because once you get to 70, you're kind of an off tank, because you can take a lot more damage than other classes. So with a good healer, you probably could tank most things. And again, you shouldn't really have a problem with dying in the tutorial. Most of these enemies can't do enough damage to really kill you. And if they can, you have potions, which are down here. These three slots. This is your 4, 5, and 6 keys. Number 3 is going to be an artifact. You'll get those later. 1 and 2 are your dailies, and this is generally 7, but this is what I changed to V. This is your mount. Again, you'll get those later. You can talk to this chest. Hit F. Now you get these things called kits. You have 2 nature kits and 2 dungeoneering kits. But, oh, I forgot to equip the clan greatsword. The dungeoneering kit has a great weapon fighter. You have the dungeoneering skill. Guardian fighters also have dungeoneering. Nature is hunter rangers. And then the other classes have their own specific one. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. I don't really use kits much, but I believe they are Arcana and Religion. Oh, and Thievery kits. I forgot about those. Each one of the classes has their own. So once you start to get below half health, you'll start to get that redness around the edge of the screen. That just means you need to heal, so hit 4 and you'll be back up at full. Now up here you can skip those ads without getting any damage. Something to speed it up a little bit. Now I pick up everything because endgame, if you don't want to keep buying some endgame gear, you can have one set and just transfer it in between characters, but that takes gold. So I tend to try to save up as much as I can by the time I hit level 70. Now, as a great weapon fighter, you don't have to avoid those red zones, or as a guardian fighter or paladin, but the other classes you're going to want to, because you will die very quickly. Now over here. Now all around the world there are these things, like scrolls and whatnot, and they give you lore. You can hit J and read them, and you get all this stuff to read. I generally don't read all of it, mostly because I have dyslexia, so just kind of run through here, kill all these enemies. Now there was a campfire back there if you need it. I just skipped it because I really don't. Just gonna keep hopping through. Skipped a cutscene there. Now I'm using Reaping Strike a lot more than I thought I was going to, so while you're leveling it's okay, but once you get a power called Weapon Master Strike, you'll get rid of it, because that will be your other at will. You talk to Sabella. There's a lot of talking. Now some people, like me, like to just jump while they run. It doesn't actually make anything faster, but it's just something to do with your hands while you're moving. It's just kind of a habit. Now don't forget this archer up in here. Sometimes you can't really get it as a melee class, you kind of have to jump up and stab it. There's another chest over there, and I believe it's a religion kit on this side. So you would just talk to that thing on the ground. I don't have the skill or the kit, so I'm just going to skip that. Sorry guys if I'm not talking a lot, that's just trying to concentrate. Promise you I will get better at that. Go through and pick everything up. We're almost through. At this point you can choose either direction. There's going to be 2 zombies on either side, and you might end up having to fight both anyway, depending upon how fast you are. So just kill those 2. Come down here. Now I'm going fast enough that I'm kind of skipping them, but there's 2 zombies over there that I'm not going to get. Now up here, Guardian of the 9. That's just the boss monster. You can't really skip this cutscene. You're going to have to see it. Now you really only want to use your dailies at this level on bosses, because you won't really need them for anything else. Just make things go faster, because they generally take longer for the animation than you'll need to deal the damage itself. Yeah, see, like that red zone just knocked me out of the charge, and again, that's why I generally don't like charge powers. But as a great weapon fighter, you can just kind of run out of them. So that one's dead. You have another unskippable cutscene, and you'll see that woman later, and the other guy that disappeared too. So I'm going to go around picking up all this stuff. Again, you don't need to if you don't want to, but it's generally a good idea. So you go up here, inspect the pedestal, see that the crown's missing. Accept the belt. Equip it, because I forgot to equip the sword last time. Oh, and you're going to need these portable altars, so I'm going to put that down here. And along with the chest, I forgot about that. Open this gate. Up these stairs. And so now you're just going back to Sergeant Knox. And at this point, you'll be open to party invites, guild invites, anything. So keep running through here. And in Protector's Enclave, you can take fall damage, but it's never enough to kill you. So just up here, talk to Sergeant Knox, accept the next quest. I'm going to do this level up. That box I moved down there, it moved back up because that's what I just opened. Get these bound scrolls of identification. Those you'll need, and as well as these injury kits. So now once you get to level 5, you'll be able to put your own points into these different powers. Now just to get more at-wills, or encounters, sorry, I'm going to put a power in that one. Finish that quest, close. And now I'm level 5. Now, next week we will be going through up until the end of Black Lake, and maybe into Tower District, depending upon how fast things go. See you guys all next week. The Helpful Idiot out.